All right, we're going to go live in 1 second. All right, we are live for our thought for the week. Tonight begins Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance Day. I've had the privilege of a robust Holocaust education, including many opportunities to travel to Europe, visiting communities that were once home to lively, thriving Jewish communities, seeing what's left, and in some cases, bearing witness to those individuals working to rebuild Jewish life in honor of what was once there. I've been to Auschwitz twice in my life so far. The first time at 16. Sad. The second time I went, I was no longer a teenager myself, but rather a staff person, part of a team who brought 140 teenagers to Auschwitz. Between my first and second trip, I'd learned so much more about the Holocaust. I'd met and heard the stories of more survivors. I'd taken university-level courses exploring different layers of the Holocaust. I'd done research on the impacts of Holocaust education. I'd really spent a few years entrenched in Holocaust study. So much time and focus that I'd become a bit numb to it all. It became a thing I studied and not a thing I felt. Until I brought teenagers to Auschwitz. As they stood on the tracks that carried trainfuls of our people to their deaths, as they looked up at the spigots that dispersed the Zyklon B gas, as they saw photos and keepsakes, all that was left of entire families, I saw their shock, their horror, their upset, their sadness. And their shock, it jolted me back to mine. Seeing them experience what I had helped me connect back into feeling, into recognizing the shock of what should always feel truly shocking. The more we know, the more we learn, the more we talk about it, and the more years that pass, it's hard not to become desensitized, to detach ourselves. It may be a reflection of an instinct to protect ourselves from what's painful. And what we know to be true is that the pain it causes us to feel and to remember what happened and to speak the truth of what happened is nothing compared to the pain of it happening again. Let's not let go. Let's not allow ourselves to distance or disconnect. We need to never forget what happened. Never forget that shock. Tomorrow in Israel on Yom HaShoah, this day of Holocaust remembrance, the most commonly played song will be Halicha LeKaisaria, A Walk to Caesarea, written in 1942 by the great poet and World War II resistance fighter Hannah Senesh. Originally written as 13 Hebrew words, she is hopeful despite what she's seen in the world. The poem was set to music by Israeli composer David Zahavi in 1945, and we'll sing it together today. Eli, Eli, Shelohi kamer leolam, hachol hayam, rishush shel hamayim, v'rak hashamayim, tfilat ha'adam, hachol hayam, rishush Virak hashamayim tfilat Adam. Oh Lord, my God, I pray that these things never end. The sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart, the sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart. We'll gather together tonight at 7 p.m. Mountain Time to mark this day of remembrance together. This is the Jewish existence, to hold difficult things and the rest of it all at the same time. So despite it being Yom HaShoah, have a wonderful week.